Thank you, everybody, for being here, joining us today. Good morning to Peru, good morning to Bolivia, and good evening to India. It is a pleasure to share today our virtual business interaction between the state of Karnataka and Peru and Bolivia. The webinar is being organized by the Embassy of India, Lima, in association with the Commission for Industrial Development and Department of Industries and Commerce, Government of Karnataka, Confederation of India Industry, CII, Federation of Karnataka, Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FKCCI, the Indian Chambers of Commerce in Peru, INCHAM, and the Chamber of Industry, Commerce, Services and Tourism, CAINCO, in Bolivia. The objective of this session is to showcase Karnataka State, its economic and industrial strengths, and identify opportunities for trade and business interaction with Peru and Bolivia, automobiles, pharmaceuticals, textiles, and ICT sectors of export from India to Peru and Bolivia will be focused mainly in addition to other areas of potential. We will see now a very short video that will show us how important will be this interaction. Thank you. So beautiful. It is so beautiful. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I will introduce now Mr. Mandarapu Subrajudu, Ambassador of India to Peru and Bolivia. Welcome, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you, Senora Gabriela. Ambassador Rajashekar, Srimati Gunjan Krishna, Srimati Uma Reddy, Ms. Jyoti Pradhan, Mr. Rohit Rao, Mr. Ruben Aguiar, participants, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar, Buenos Dias. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this virtual session on the Indian state of Karnataka, its general and industrial profile, technological and manufacturing strengths, and export capabilities. This session also seeks to explore trade, business, and investment opportunities among Karnataka, Peru, and Bolivia. Towards realizing these objectives, the involvement of the state's division of Ministry of External Affairs, the Department of Industries and Commerce, Government of Karnataka, Federation of Karnataka Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Confederation of Indian Industry, as well as INCHAM, the Indian Chamber of Commerce in Peru, and CAINCO, the Chamber of Industry, Commerce, Services and Tourism of Bolivia is valuable. Their cooperation, time and effort are deeply appreciated. Embassy of India in Lima wishes to thank exporters, industry and business representatives from Karnataka and also importers, business and industry participants from Peru and Bolivia.
Quiero extender un cordial saludo a todos ustedes en esta sesión virtual sobre el Estado indio de Karnataka, su perfil general e industrial, sus fortalezas tecnológicas y manufactureras, y además su capacidad de exportación. Esta sesión también pretende explorar las oportunidades de comercio, negocios e inversiones entre Karnataka, Perú y Bolivia. Para lograr estos objetivos es valiosa la participación de la División de Estados del Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores, el Departamento de Industrias y Comercio del Gobierno de Karnataka, la Federación de Cámaras de Comercio e Industria de Karnataka, la Federación de Industria de India, así como la Cámara de Comercio de India en Perú, INCHAM, la Cámara de Industria, Comercio, Servicios y Turismo, CAINCO, de Bolivia. Su cooperación, tiempo y esfuerzo son profundamente apreciados. La Embajada de la India en Lima desea agradecerles a los exportadores, representantes de la industria de los negocios de Karnataka y también a los importadores participantes de la industria de los negocios en Perú y Bolivia.
During this pandemic disrupted period, technology has taken a center stage in almost all activities, be it manufacturing and supply, design and development, delivery of services and communication, etc. In this context, today's session is quite relevant for entrepreneurs in Peru and Bolivia because Karnataka is a leader in technology, home to the fourth largest technology cluster in the world and hub of information technology, biotechnology, electronics, and chip design.
En este contexto, la sesión de hoy es bastante relevante para los empresarios de Perú y Bolivia, ya que Karnataka es un líder en tecnología, sede del cuarto clúster tecnológico más grande del mundo, centro de la tecnología y de la información, la biotecnología, la electrónica y el diseño de chips.
Besides being a strong player in ICT space, Karnataka has vibrant automobile and heavy engineering, pharmaceutical and medical devices, textile and apparel, agro and food processing, biotechnology and aerospace, electronics and telecom industries. As a knowledge, research and innovation hub, Karnataka has been a home to 400 of the Fortune 500 companies. With its diverse flora and fauna and natural coastline, Karnataka is also a great destination for tourists. Karnataka can therefore be a good trade and industry partner for Peru and Bolivia. Its sector-specific special economic zones in IT, biotechnology, engineering, food processing, and aerospace represent significant opportunity for investment.
Además de ser un fuerte actor en el espacio de las tecnologías de la información, Karnataka tiene vibrantes industrias en automoción, en ingeniería pesada, farmacéutica y de dispositivos médicos, productos textiles y de la confección, agro y procesamiento de alimentos, biotecnología, aeroespacial, electrónica y telecomunicaciones. Como centro de conocimiento, investigación e innovación, Karnataka ha sido sede de las 400 y 500 empresas de la lista Fortune. Con su diversa flora y fauna en su costa natural, Karnataka es también un gran destino turístico. Karnataka es un buen socio cultural, comercial e industrial para Perú y Bolivia. Sus zonas económicas especiales sectoriales en tecnología de la información, biotecnología, ingeniería, procesamiento de alimentos y aeroespacial representan una importante oportunidad de inversión.
The economies of Peru and Bolivia are promising given their rich mineral and natural resources and strong economic fundamentals. Their projected growth in last year is 13.4% and 5.1% respectively, even though growth is expected to stabilize between 3 and 3.5% this year. Demand for critical imports would remain significant. Their leading sectors, namely mining, natural gas, agriculture, textiles, chemicals, and manufacturing, need quality and affordable inputs. Our friendly ties with Peru and Bolivia are driven by growing trade and business cooperation. The complementary nature of economies offers scope for mutually rewarding partnerships. The multifaceted relationship provides additional opportunities for Karnataka in the field of renewable energy, aerospace, and defense.
Las economías de Perú y Bolivia son prometedoras debido a su riqueza en recursos naturales y a sus sólidos fundamentos económicos. Su crecimiento previsto para el 2021 era de 13.4 y del 5.1 respectivamente. Este año se prevé que el crecimiento se estabilice entre el 3 y el 3.5%. Este año la demanda de importaciones esenciales seguirá siendo importante. Sus principales sectores, como son la minería, el gas natural, la agricultura, los textiles, los productos químicos y las manufacturas, necesitan insumos de calidad y asequibles. Nuestros vínculos amistosos con Perú y Bolivia están impulsados por una creciente cooperación comercial y empresarial. La naturaleza complementaria de las economías ofrece la posibilidad de establecer asociaciones mutuamente gratificantes. La relación multifacética ofrece oportunidades adicionales para Karnataka en los campos de la ingeniería renovable, el sector aeroespacial y la defensa.
In the calendar year 2021, our exports to Peru have crossed for the first time the 1 billion mark after growing by 35%. Our exports to Bolivia have also seen a double-digit growth at 22.5% to $226 million. India is among the top 6 trading partners of Peru and the top 4 trading partners of Bolivia. However, there is still room for improvement to match the true potential. In this context, finalization of a trade agreement with Peru, which is currently under negotiation, is expected to help trade flows.
En el año 2021, nuestras exportaciones a Perú han superado por primera vez la barrera de los $1.000 billones tras crecer un 35%. Nuestras exportaciones a Bolivia también han experimentado un crecimiento de 2 dígitos, con un 22.5%, hasta alcanzar los $226 millones. India está entre uno de los 6 primeros socios comerciales de Perú y los 4 primeros de Bolivia. Sin embargo, todavía hay margen de mejora para alcanzar el verdadero potencial. En este contexto, se espera que la finalización del acuerdo comercial con Perú, actualmente en negociación, ayude a los flujos comerciales.
Peru imports engineering goods worth $18 billion globally. India's average share is over 2%, while it is 5% in case of automobiles. Exporters from Karnataka can look at expanding share in $5.5 billion industrial machinery, $4 billion electrical machinery, $3.8 billion automobile, and $1 billion scientific and medical devices import markets in Peru.
Perú importa bienes de ingeniería valorados en $18.000 millones a nivel mundial. La cuota media de India es superior al 2%, mientras que es del 5% en el caso de automóviles. Los exportadores de Karnataka pueden buscar ampliar su cuota en los mercados de importación de maquinaria industrial por un valor de $5.500 millones. En maquinaria eléctrica por un valor de $4.000 millones. Automóviles por un valor de $3.800 millones. Y dispositivos científicos y médicos por un valor de $1.000 millones en Perú.
On the other hand, Bolivia's engineering goods imports were $4.5 billion. Automobiles, mechanical appliances, electrical appliances, iron and steel and articles account for 77%. Our share in automobiles imports was 6%. This again highlights the need for greater efforts on the part of our exporters. Being the fourth largest manufacturer of automobiles in India, exporters from Karnataka can explore opportunities in Peru and Bolivia. The electric vehicle and lithium-ion battery manufacturing projects in Karnataka could look at having partnerships in Bolivia.
Por otro lado, las importaciones de bienes de ingeniería de Bolivia fueron de $4.500 millones. Los automóviles, los aparatos mecánicos, aparatos eléctricos, el hierro y el acero y los artículos representan el 77%. Nuestra participación en las importaciones de automóviles fue del 6%. Esto vuelve a poner de manifiesto la necesidad de un mayor esfuerzo por parte de nuestros exportadores. Siendo el cuarto fabricante de automóviles en India, Karnataka puede buscar oportunidades en Perú y Bolivia. Los proyectos de fabricación de vehículos eléctricos y baterías de iones de litio en Karnataka podrían buscar socios en Bolivia.
Health is a priority area for Peru and Bolivia. The total import value of medicines is $1,079 million in case of Peru and $238 million for Bolivia. This does not include import of medical devices. At present, India is the largest supplier of pharmaceutical products to Bolivia and the second largest supplier to Peru. Over 80% of our pharma exports to Peru fall under HS code 3004. There is still substantial scope for increasing export of medicines, vaccines, and medical equipment. Since Bengaluru and Mysore are major hubs for manufacturing of medical devices, and Karnataka accounts for 12% of India's pharma exports, the state can look at opportunities here in this sector.
La salud es un área prioritaria para Perú y Bolivia. El valor total de las importaciones de medicamentos es de $1.079 millones en el caso de Perú y de 238 millones en el caso de Bolivia. Esto no incluye la importación de dispositivos médicos. Actualmente, India es el mayor proveedor de productos farmacéuticos a Bolivia y el segundo a Perú. Más del 80% de nuestras exportaciones farmacéuticas a Perú corresponden al código 3004. Todavía hay un margen importante para mejorar la exportación de medicamentos, vacunas y equipos médicos, dado que Bengaluru y Mysore son los principales centros de fabricación de dispositivos médicos. y Karnataka representa el 12% de las exportaciones farmacéuticas de India, el Estado puede aún buscar oportunidades en este sector.
Textiles segment is another promising area for business cooperation. Global import of textiles by Peru is worth $2 billion and by Bolivia $190 million. India is the main supplier of cotton yarn to Peru. The quality of yarn imported from India complements the Peruvian industry's value addition and exports. India is the second largest supplier of synthetic yarn. Man-made fibers, articles of apparel, and clothing could be focus products. Our current textile exports to Bolivia are negligible.
El segmento textil es otra área prometedora para la cooperación empresarial. La importación global de textiles por parte de Perú está valorizada en $2.000 millones y por parte de Bolivia en $190 millones. India es el principal proveedor de hilo de algodón a Perú. La calidad del hilo importado de India complementa la industria peruana. India es el segundo proveedor de hilo sintético. Las fibras artificiales, los artículos de confección y las prendas de vestir podrían ser productos de interés. Nuestras actuales exportaciones textiles a Bolivia podrían considerarse insignificantes.
Electronics and computer software being the strong domain of Karnataka, opportunities in these segments could be explored. The suppliers may also look at digital processing units, portable digital automobile data processing machines, and telephones for cellular networks, which are among Peru's top items of global imports. The internal digital transformation in Peru needs emerging technologies like blockchain, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc. And the main companies in Karnataka can make use of these opportunities and partner with Peru.
Al ser la electrónica y el software informático el dominio fuerte de Karnataka, podrían explorarse oportunidades en estos segmentos. Los proveedores también pueden mirar las unidades de procesamiento digital, las máquinas portátiles de procesamiento automático de datos digitales y los teléfonos para redes celulares, los cuales se encuentran entre los principales artículos de importación global de Perú. La transformación digital interna en Perú necesita tecnologías emergentes como blockchain, Internet de las Cosas, inteligencia artificial, machine learning, etc. Karnataka podría actuar en estos sectores en conjunto con las empresas peruanas.
Our share in Peru's global import of chemicals was 7% in 2019. Organic chemicals constitute more than 90% of chemicals exported. Market also exists for cyanide, carboxylic acid, sulfide, carbonates, etc. We have a 2.6% share in import of plastics and rubber by Peru. Demand is there for rubber tires and garments and plastics in primary form. Ceramic products from India are in great demand here. I invite exporters from Karnataka to make use of these growing demands.
Nuestra participación en la importación global de productos químicos del Perú fue de 7% en el 2019. Los productos químicos orgánicos constituyen más del 90% de los productos químicos exportados. Existe mercado para cianuro, ácido carboxílico, sulfuro, carbonatos, etc. Tenemos una participación de 2,6% en la importación de plásticos y caucho por parte del Perú. Hay demanda de neumáticos y prendas de vestir, prendas de caucho y de plástico en forma primaria. Además, los productos de cerámica de India son bastante demandados aquí. Invito a los empresarios de Karnataka a hacer uso de estas oportunidades.
In conclusion, I wish to mention that we have a dedicated team at the embassy to facilitate greater trade flows and business exchanges. We invite importers from Peru and Bolivia to approach the embassy team for your sourcing requirements. We will assist you in reaching out to Indian suppliers, particularly from Karnataka. I am confident that this session will help promote greater trade and business partnerships between three sides.
Antes de concluir, deseo hacerles saber que tenemos un dedicado equipo en la Embajada que trabaja en facilitar mayores flujos comerciales e intercambios de negocios. Invitamos a los importadores de Perú y Bolivia a acercarse al equipo de la Embajada para aclarar sus necesidades de abastecimiento. Les ayudaremos a ponerse en contacto con proveedores indios, especialmente de Karnataka. Estoy seguro de que esta sesión de negocios ayudará a promover un mayor comercio y asociaciones empresariales de los tres lados.
Dhanyavadam. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador. Very interesting what you have described. This is a lot of potential to share with Karnataka. And of course, your whole team will be able to arrange a meeting whoever will be interested in all the technologies and diverse benefits that you have just described. Thank you so much. According to our program, we were expecting Mr. Ambassador Rajasekar, head of division states. He had an inconvenience actually. He won't be able to share with us his words, but Mr. Rohit Rao will be directing his message, will be sharing what he was trying to share with us. Mr. Rohit Rao is the president of the Chambers of Commerce, India, Peru, INCHAM. Thank you for being here, Rohit, and welcome with the words of Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you, Gabriela. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for your fantastic and clear words. Definitely, it would have been lovely to have a ambassador from India to be here today, but due to urgency, he couldn't make it. I would say in English what we need to know for the English people who speaks English, and in Spanish, so we don't take too much of our time in this case. No? As he rightly says, he'd like to congratulate the Indian ambassador, Mr. Subbaraidu, and the counterparts in Karnataka for attending this webinar for Peru, Bolivia, and Karnataka. The global pandemic, COVID-19, has really taught us a lot, and also it has complicated our day-to-day lives. We understand that these webinars and all these interesting things that has been going on has helped India, and India has really grown a lot in these 2 years for our business with Peru and Bolivia. Things are tough, but the spirits are always very high. Also, I'd like to congratulate the organizers from both the sides in Karnataka as well as in Peru and Bolivia to make this thing happen and things go on up and up. As rightly said, state of Karnataka is a home to a dozen of Fortune 500 companies. Karnataka all over has got all the businesses that one can imagine: software, hardware, pharmaceuticals, batteries, electric motorcycles, everything what we imagine is there in Karnataka. And it's a hub, it's a global IT hub. Señores, un poco explicarle, Karnataka hoy día es un lugar para todos los inversores que quieren invertir en la India, o también todos los importadores que quieren comprar de la India. Karnataka hoy día tiene todo lo que es tema muy grande, software, tiene tema logística, tiene tema de fabricación de medicina, textil, todo lo que es maquinaria, etc. Eso realmente es muy grande que ambos países pueden hacerlo. I would like to also inform our Indian counterparts, as Ambassador Subbaraidu already informed, there's a lot of rich natural resources available in Peru and Bolivia. especially as Ambassador explained, lithium. Lithium is abundantly available in Bolivia, and very soon, maybe a few years down the line, it will also be available a lot in Peru. One of the main product for electric vehicles is going to be important on both the sides. Today, India is one of the biggest manufacturers of electric motorcycles. And we are very happy to inform that one company from India has already decided to have a big assembly plant in Peru for attending Latin America. If things goes well, it's going to be very soon a done deal. There are products like copper, iron, lead, zinc, phosphates, and all other products that India can need, Peru and Bolivia can definitely supply. And on the other side, as Ambassador said, Peru can really and Bolivia can import a lot of products from India, and things are really going on a very fast situation. Also today, Karnataka is a hub. También voy a decir en español un poquito. Karnataka hoy día es un lugar donde pueden hacer todo lo que es tema de servicios para salud. Los mejores hospitales, los mejores cirujanos ya están en Karnataka. Ya no es necesario ir a país de primer mundo, gastar mucha plata. Pueden ir en Karnataka donde hay mejores hospitales, muy buena atención y un nivel extraordinario de la medicina. Pueden aprovechar ese lugar para ir a Karnataka. I'm very happy to see a large participation of trade and industrial leaders today. An Indian mission will seriously take care to make sure that it is a mutual beneficial for both the countries. I would like to encourage the participants to get into specifics of Bolivia and Peru. Me gustaría también, por favor, informarle a todos los importadores de Bolivia y Perú para que puedan entrar en colaboraciones con diferentes estados de la India. Y como it's my proud privilege to inform that the wholehearted support will be from my side for India and Peru, and especially with the state of Karnataka. Yo estoy seguro que con toda nuestra ayuda y mi intervención específica voy a estar dedicado para que Karnataka y Perú y India estén cada vez más cerca. I wish all the success for everybody on all the sides. Deseo que sea un éxito total en ambas partes. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. I'm sorry, this is a very short thing which I could manage right now because just 5 minutes back I came to know he's not going to attend. Disculpa, señores, tuve que decir muy corto. Hace 2 minutos recién supe que él no va a estar. Pero el embajador en la India que está ahí hoy día es nuestra gran conexión y da bastante apoyo al señor Rajashekar para Perú y Bolivia. Así que estamos todas las puertas abiertas a ambos lugares para trabajar. Muchas gracias. Back to you, Gabriela. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you so much, Rohit. I'm pretty sure Mr. Ambassador was very proud for the message you just shared with us. Actually, I have to introduce the Commissioner for Industrial Development and Director, Department of Industries and Commerce, Government of Karnataka, Mrs. Gunjan Krishna. She has been graduated in economics with extensive experience in managing state governments and government of India. She has several years of experience in public-private partnership for infrastructure projects, working with MSMEs. She is currently Commissioner for Industrial Development and Director of Industries and Commerce in Karnataka. Welcome, Mrs. Krishna.
Thanks a lot, Senora Gabriela and Mr. Ambassador, all the participants, my friends from India and Peru and Bolivia. It's a pleasure to be participating in the virtual business interaction between the state of Karnataka and Peru and Bolivia. Thanks a lot for giving us this opportunity. I will be briefly talking about the opportunities, basically showcasing the strengths of Karnataka, and also the business opportunities that are present and that we can work together with Peru and Bolivia. So I would request if my presentation can be put up.
Leo, prepárate.
Thank you.
Sí, aquí estoy.
So next, so if as mentioned by the ambassador, Karnataka represents best of many world. In fact, if you look at Karnataka, is the leading investment destination in India, being number one in across multiple sectors. It is the first in the FDI inflows. In fact, 45% of the FDIs that have come in these last half a year has come into Karnataka, especially that represents the very buoyant startup sector and aerospace and defense and engineering and automotive sector in Karnataka. Karnataka ranks number one in the innovation index, and we have got the largest number of R&D centers. In fact, 40% of the R&D happens in Karnataka of the country, and in fact 35% of the global capability centers. I'm talking about, say for example, Google, Samsung, Intel. All of these have got their largest GE. They've got their large R&D centers located in Karnataka. Karnataka also tops in the export, including merchandise and the IT and IT services export. Very important aspect, all of us are talking about sustainable energy. Karnataka is one such state in India where 63% of our installed capacity comes from renewables, from wind energy, solar energy, hydropower. All of them combined contribute to 63% of the installed capacity. Karnataka again is number one in aerospace and defense. In fact, Bengaluru, the capital of Karnataka, ranks as the top three in the world in getting FDI, foreign direct investment in aerospace and defense. We are again number one in electronic design. If any chip anywhere in the world, it has some part of it which has been done in Karnataka. Similarly, we are number one in machine tool manufacturing, and we are also a leader in biotech products. Next.
Wait a second, I'm going to translate for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
Yes.
please.
Entonces, Karnataka es el destino de inversión líder en la India, siendo el número uno en múltiples aspectos. Es el primero en lo que es la entrada de inversión extranjera para el primer trimestre de 2021-2022, con un 45% de la inversión extranjera de la India en ese año. Es el primero en índice de innovación de la India y número de centros de investigación y desarrollo. El primero en exportaciones totales en los Estados Indios. El primero en lo que es energía renovable instalada. Primero en fabricación aeroespacial y de defensa, en diseño electrónico, en fabricación de herramientas para maquinarias y número uno en producción y exportación de biotecnología. Yes, continue.
Yeah. So Karnataka, when we talk about the bilateral trade between India and Peru and Bolivia, we see that we are going strong at 3.5 billion US dollar. And there are key sectors. In fact, as the ambassador has mentioned, there is a lot of complementary industries that we can really work together, because Bolivia and Peru are rich in mineral products, and Karnataka bring them together in the form of processed products, engineering goods. So the key sectors of trade that we can look at is auto and auto components, pharmaceutical industries, textiles, information, communication, and technology. Yeah, if you can translate.
India tiene una fuerte relación comercial de 3.5 mil millones de dólares con Perú y Bolivia, 2.3 billones en el caso del comercio indo-peruano y 1.25 billones en el caso del comercio indo-boliviano. Los sectores clave del comercio son los autos y componentes de autos, productos farmacéuticos, textiles, tecnología de información y comunicación. Please continue.
Next. Thanks. Karnataka is actually well positioned to welcome Peru and Bolivian companies to invest in the state, and likewise we look forward to our companies which are located in Karnataka to go and invest in Peru and Bolivia. Talking about the investment ecosystem of Karnataka, we have come out recently with the new industrial policy, and in this new industrial policy we have actually delinked the taxation based incentives, and we are bringing in turnover based incentive. What it means is that more you produce, more incentives you get. So that is something that we have introduced in line with Government of India's production linked incentive schemes. Also, what we are looking at giving thrust to Industry 4.0, because so we are a hub for manufacturing 4.0. We are looking at giving thrust to R&D and becoming an integral part of the global value chain. So this is something that in the new industrial policy, plus what we are also focusing is on enhanced ease of doing business. We have introduced something called affidavit-based clearance process, by which if you are investing in Karnataka, you do not have to wait for all the approvals to come. You can start grounding your project, and there would be an auto-renew grounding your projects. And these permissions, there is a moratorium period of 3 years, and these permissions may come in place, but your project will continue. Also, we are looking at a lot of reforms have been brought in. There is an auto renewal of various licenses, clearances, central inspection system that we have brought in. Land reforms have been undertaken. Now you can directly buy land from the farmers. Earlier it was not allowed. And we are also bringing out a lot of labor reforms. In Karnataka, for example, women can do night shifts. And what is most important is that Karnataka provides a very stable policy-led ecosystem. Even though government may change, but whatever has been promised to the investors is duly delivered by the subsequent governments. Yeah, if you would translate.
Yes. Karnataka está bien posicionada para recibir a empresas peruanas y bolivianas para invertir en el Estado. Tenemos, por ejemplo, la nueva política industrial 2020-2025, que permite tener una subvención vinculada al volumen de negocios. Esto significa que cuanto más produzcas, cuanto más volumen de negocios tengas, mayores incentivos vas a recibir. Esto se aplica hasta un 2,25% de la facturación anual y es de 6 a 10 años, con un 40 o 60% de valor de activos fijos. Asimismo, las áreas de mayor empuje son la industria 4.0, fabricación avanzada, investigación y desarrollo, y apunta a convertirse en una parte integral de la cadena de valor global. Asimismo, se pueden considerar incentivos adicionales para proyectos de marquesina. Para la mayor facilidad para hacer negocios en este estado, se ha autorizado lo que es el sistema de autorización basada en declaración jurada, y te permite una moratoria de 3 años sobre aprobaciones y autorizaciones para inversiones. Eso significa que puedes iniciar tu negocio y tienes 3 años para poder realizar toda la autorización necesaria. En el caso de la autorrenovación de varias licencias y autorizaciones y sistema de inspección central, también la ley de reformas agrarias modificada para mejorar la facilidad de adquisición de tierras, y al frente de reformas laborables que te permiten, por ejemplo, un turno de noche para mujeres, empleo a término fijo, límite de horas extras, etc. Please continue.
Thank you. Next slide. Talking about the key opportunities that Peru and Bolivian companies can invest into Karnataka, since I would talk about these sectors like auto and auto components, because as these are the very important sectors in Karnataka. We are home to around 7+ auto OEMs and 50+ auto component manufacturers. India is also a hub of electric vehicles, and we were the first ones to come out with the EV policy. We'll be talking more about this. Again, the second sector is pharmaceutical. We are manufacturing for large domestic and export market is happening in Karnataka. If you look at it, 60% of India's biotech companies are located here in Karnataka, and we are the first state to formulate with the biotech policy. The third sector I would talk about is textiles. There is an opportunity to reorganize global supply chain. Karnataka is in the forefront in this. In fact, 49% of India's silk, 12% of India's wool, and 6% of India's cotton come from Karnataka. And there are a number of players that I'll be talking about. And the last one I would be talking about electronics, ICT. We can manufacture both again for domestic and export market. The pioneers in this industry are located in Karnataka. 40% we contribute to the national share in electronic product design. And Bengaluru is the world's 4th largest technology and innovation hub. So I'll be just taking these sectors in detail. Yeah, you can take over.
Yes, thanks. En cuanto a los ejemplos de oportunidades clave para que empresas peruanas y bolivianas inviertan en Karnataka, tenemos lo que son autos y componentes de autos, que cuentan con una fabricación para grandes mercados nacionales y de exportación, que es Karnataka es casa de 7 o más OEM de automóviles y más de 50 fabricantes de componentes. El centro de la India para vehículos es el centro de la India para vehículos eléctricos con más de 45 startups de vehículos eléctricos. También están los productos farmacéuticos, que cuentan en Karnataka con una fabricación para grandes mercados nacionales y de exportación. 60% de las empresas de biotecnología de India están en Karnataka. Y es el primer estado en formular una política de biotecnología. En el caso de textiles, tienen una oportunidad de reorganizar cadenas de suministro globales. Karnataka produce 49% de la seda de la India, 12% de la lana de la India y 6% del algodón de la India, así como cuentan con la presencia de principales actores en la cadena de valor textil. En el caso de tecnología de comunicación e información, se cuenta con fabricación para grandes mercados nacionales y exportación de igual manera, 40% de participación nacional en el diseño de productos electrónicos, y Bangalore tiene el cuarto mayor centro de tecnología e innovación de la India. Continue, please.
Thank you. Next slide. Talking about your auto manufacturing ecosystem, Karnataka is actually the fourth largest automobile producing state in the country. We contribute around 8.5% to the national output in the automobile sector. Also, we have got 5 auto-specific clusters across Karnataka, and we are home to 7 major OEMs. If you talk about Honda, Toyota, TVS, Reva, Mahindra, all of these are located in Karnataka. We have right now we have taken the torch because we do realize the first electric vehicle in India, which was manufactured in 2000, Reva, was done first in Karnataka. Now that company has been taken over by Mahindra's. And we have a very strong support for adjacent industries for electric vehicle manufacturing. We have come out with the dedicated electric vehicle policy with the best in class incentives. The idea is to ensure that more and more number of vehicles that are plying on the roads are electric. We are creating the entire infrastructure. And if you look at the building blocks, be it machine tools, Karnataka is number 1 in electronics, which again, and capital goods and software. All these are building blocks for electric vehicle, and Karnataka excel in all of these. You can translate.
Yes, thanks. Karnataka tiene un fuerte ecosistema de fabricación de automóviles con un fuerte enfoque de los vehículos eléctricos. Es el destino preferido para inversiones en autos. Es el cuarto estado productor de automóviles más grande de la India y tiene un 8,5% de contribución a la producción nacional en el sector del automóvil. Cuenta con 5 clústeres específicos de automóviles en Karnataka y es casa de los 7 principales fabricantes de equipo original de automóviles y más de 50 fabricantes de componentes de automóviles. Asimismo, cuenta con un fuerte apoyo de las industrias adyacentes para la fabricación de vehículos eléctricos. Solo en Bengaluru se produce el 60% del valor total de las herramientas para maquinarias fabricadas en la India. En caso de bienes de equipo, Karnataka es el segundo más alto productor de maquinaria eléctrica pesada y de propósito especial en la India. Asimismo, cuenta con presencia de más de 85 empresas de diseño de chips. Karnataka es el centro de diseño de chips más grande en el país. En el caso de software, es el mayor exportador de software de la India. Yes, continue, please.
Thank you. Going in details on the electric vehicle ecosystem next, we have planned, government has planned replacement of government vehicles with electric vehicles. We are creating this entire ecosystem for charging. In fact, 100 plus charging stations have already been created in Bengaluru, and now we are looking at creating 600 plus 1,000 charging stations. We are looking at government land. In fact, we have come out with the regulations where all the buildings and the commercial centers should have electric vehicle charging facilities. And we are also bringing out special tariff for electric vehicle par tariff. In fact, that is just 7 cents if I talk about in the US dollar terms. And
Sorry to interrupt you. ¿Podrían, por favor, brindarle la siguiente página? Se les agradece mucho. Muchas gracias. Yes, continue.
Next one. Yeah. The next slide, please. Yeah. And
Sorry. This part they have to translate. Yeah. Just a second.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to translate the previous slide. Hay múltiples iniciativas en marcha para apoyar y reforzar el ecosistema de vehículos eléctricos. Se planea iniciar reemplazo de vehículos del gobierno con vehículos eléctricos, más de 100 unidades de cargas colocadas y más de 600 en proceso, terrenos gubernamentales en áreas clave de alta densidad, tales como depósitos de autobuses, propiedades municipales que se arrendarán a estaciones de carga de vehículos eléctricos. Especial tarifa de energía de $0,07 por unidad. Impulso regulatorio a exigir edificios de gran altura, estaciones de metro, centros comerciales, etcétera, para configurar la infraestructura de carga de vehículos. La primera instalación común de prueba de vehículos eléctricos de este tipo se está instalando en Bangalore y es la instalación siendo realizada por ATS India. También hay facilidad para impulsar el ecosistema de vehículos eléctricos en Karnataka, para ayudar en desarrollo, calibración, evaluación y certificación de componentes de vehículos eléctricos de igual manera. Y componentes clave en la instalación de pruebas de vehículos eléctricos son Powertrain Lab, almacenamiento y carga de energía y laboratorio de pruebas ambientales. Please continue.
Thank you. We have, as I mentioned earlier, we have come out with a dedicated EV policy, and in this EV policy, what we are giving is a 15% capital subsidy on fixed assets, including land, the earlier one, and production linked subsidy of 1% on turnover for 5 years. So I can share this with you, along with zero road tax for EVs. And if there are anybody interested in this, we can have detailed discussion. So this is including the capital subsidy to production linked incentive on the supply side, and demand side, zero road tax and zero registration charges. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, sorry. En el caso de los incentivos bajo la política de vehículos eléctricos actualizada, hay un 15% de subvención de capital en activos fijos, incluyendo el terreno. Hay 0 impuestos de circulación para vehículos eléctricos, así como 0 cargos de matriculación de vehículos eléctricos. Hay una subvención vinculada a la producción de 1% sobre la facturación por 5 años, 100% de exención del impuesto timbre o 0,1% cargo de registro, 50% de subsidio sobre costo de ETP hasta $267,000, subsidio de desarrollo de habilidades o beca del 50% para capacitación en planta y 25% tope subvención para equipos para estaciones de carga e intercambio de baterías de hasta $13,300,000 por estación. Please continue.
Thanks. Next slide. Talking about the Karnataka's strong biotech and pharma ecosystem, as the ambassador has mentioned earlier, there is a very bilateral trade between Peru and Bolivia and India in pharmaceutical, and Karnataka is a significant contributor to India's pharma ecosystem. Several global leaders such as GE Healthcare, Biocom, AstraZeneca, Novo Nordisk, all are present in Karnataka. In fact, 50% of the biotech and 10% of pharma companies and contribution to India's pharmaceutical revenues come from Karnataka. In fact, we were the first state to formulate a comprehensive biotech policy, and we have a number of pharma SEZs and industrial areas to boost manufacturing. So you must have heard of Biocon. So this is one of the leader, Microlab Limited, and they are doing a lot of work in the in the cancer research, in the other areas, and in fact there are a number of people who are actually setting up their vaccine manufacturing also in Karnataka. Yeah, you can.
Yes, Karnataka tiene un sólido ecosistema biotecnológico y farmacéutico, con varios líderes mundiales ya fabrican en el estado. Karnataka es un contribuyente significativo de los ingresos y exportaciones de productos farmacéuticos y biotecnológicos de la India. Cuenta con líderes en fabricación como GE Healthcare, Biocon, Healthium, AstraZeneca, Microlabs, entre otros. Y tiene un 10% de los ingresos de la India de farmacéutica y 50% de biotecnología. Asimismo, Karnataka es el primer estado en formular una política de biotecnología integral y tiene presencia de CES exclusivas de farma y áreas industriales para impulsar la fabricación. Please continue.
Next one. Karnataka also has a very strong textile ecosystem, as I mentioned earlier. 49% of India's silk, 12% of India's wool, and 6% of India's cotton come from Karnataka. In fact, if you see the map, you can see the silk producing districts. Mysore silk is world famous. Wool producing districts and cotton producing, they are put in different colors. Similarly, the integrated players, the biggest exports which are exporting to the world market, like Shahi Exports, Arvind Mills, all of them are Raymonds, all of them are working here, Himmat Singha, Welspuns. So there's a lot of work that is happening. And in fact, many of our people are also looking at going abroad and setting up their textile manufacturing. So this is something that we can work together and look at, what kind of cooperation can be brought between the players here and in players there in Peru and Bolivia. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, thanks. Karnataka tiene un fuerte ecosistema textil con la presencia de importantes actores en toda la cadena de valor. Cuenta con fácil disponibilidad de materias primas y presencia de los principales actores en toda la cadena de valor textil. Como se mencionó previamente, Karnataka produce 49% de la seda de la India, 12% de la lana de la India y 6% del algodón de la India. Se cuentan con jugadores integrados tanto como Shahi Exports y también hay de costura como Himmat Singha, Etco, prendas de vestir como Brandis, técnicos textiles como Kalyani o MAF. Lo que se busca es encontrar la manera de que estos jugadores de valor se puedan integrar también con nosotros, tanto como con Perú como Bolivia, y ver qué se puede lograr con una buena comunicación y avances en la industria, ¿no? Please continue.
Thank you. We have a dedicated policy. Next one, we have a dedicated policy in textiles, and that also give very handsome incentives. And this would be like capital subsidy and interest subsidy also, which is given of 5%, concessional registration charges, stamp duty. So this is on the capex, that is capital expenditure that you make, and on opex also we are giving par tariff subsidy, wage subsidy, and 75% reimbursement of ESI. This is labor-related provident fund reimbursement that is done. And in our industrial policy, up to 2.25% of the turnover-based incentives are given. So this is essentially because textile is a large provider of employment, and Government of Karnataka is giving focus, and we are coming out with the booster incentives for employment-rich industries. You can.
Hay múltiples incentivos financieros para convertir a Karnataka en un centro textil. Ahí está lo que es la subvención al CAPEX, con 25% de subsidio en inversión de capital, en activos fijos, subvención a la inversión, 5% de subsidio en interés de préstamos, cargos de registro muy bajos, 100% de exención de impuestos de timbre, 100% de reembolso de tasa de conversión de la tierra, 40% de subvención a la inversión de capital fijo en edificios, fábrica e infraestructura, 50% de subsidio en inversión de capital fijo de CETP y CSTP hasta $668,000. En el caso de subsidio del OPEX, hay un subsidio a la tarifa de energía de hasta $0,027 por 5 años, subsidio salarial de hasta $20 por empleado por mes durante 5 años, 75% de reembolso de SIEPF por 5 años y 2,25% de facturación como subsidio de promoción de inversiones por 6 a 10 años por el valor de 40 a 60% de activos fijos. Please continue.
Thank you. Next slide. Karnataka has a very strong ecosystem in electronic manufacturing. In fact, it's a preferred destination for electronic system design manufacturing. We are the largest chip design hub in India. 85 plus fabulous chip design companies, the Intel, Qualcomm, all of them are located in Karnataka. We contribute 10% to national electronics output and 40% national share in electronic design. In fact, there is a saying that if there is a chip anywhere in the world, it has some part of Karnataka in it. And we are also home to 55% of the Internet of Things startups. They are based out of here. In fact, the unicorns, more than $1 billion worth of startups, 42% of them come from Karnataka. In fact, the largest investments that come to these startups, angel investments and other investors, come to Karnataka. And we also, as I mentioned earlier, we are the hub of research and development. 400 MNCs with their Global Research and Development Center. 35% of the global capability centers are located. In fact, Tim Cook, when he spoke about China's compelling story, and he says that how beautifully they bring up the workmanship with the high technology, and that is something Karnataka does beautifully. We have high tech in analytics, in artificial intelligence, IoT, and also we have highly skilled men available in the state. Also, we have these various clusters, if you see around Bengaluru, Mysuru, where we have all different EMS companies like Wistron, which make the Apple mobile phone. In fact, we are exporting a large portion of the mobile phones, Apple mobile phones from here in Karnataka. Similarly, Austrian company, they make PCB and ICB here, integrated circuit boards and printed circuit boards. So we have these number of Bosch, which is again very big, both in electronics and in the machine tool industries. Honeywell, all of these big companies are located in Karnataka, has contributed to the rich ecosystem. You can translate.
Yeah, thanks. En el caso de hardware, tecnología, información, comunicación, Karnataka tiene un fuerte ecosistema existente en electrónicos. Es el destino preferido para SDM de inversiones, el centro de diseño de chips más grande de la India, con más de 85 casas de diseño de chips sin fábrica, es Karnataka. Cuenta con 10% de contribución a la producción electrónica nacional y 40% de participación nacional en diseño electrónico. También hay un dicho que si es que hay un chip en el mundo, tiene una parte de Karnataka en él. Es casa, asimismo, de más de 400 multinacionales con centros de investigación y desarrollo globales, y cuenta con un 55% de las nuevas empresas de investigación y tecnología tienen su sede en Bangalore. Asimismo, Karnataka cuenta con alta tecnología y mano de obra muy calificada. Se pueden observar también que hay una mezcla de fabricantes de productos electrónicos, proveedores de EMS y de componentes en y alrededor de Bangalore, como los ejemplos que se ven en pantalla. Please continue.
Thank you. Next slide. Karnataka is also concentrating because we are leaders when it comes to design, but now we are taking a step forward and want to get into manufacturing in a very big way. Earlier one. We have announced a special ESDM incentive package to create the most favorable cost economics for incentive, because as you all know, electronics is new gold. You have seen the scarcity that has happened in the chip, and which is why automobile and various sectors have really suffered. So which is why Karnataka has come out with a dedicated scheme in which pre-operation we are again giving capital subsidy, 25% on land, 20% subsidy on plant and machinery, 100% reimbursement of land conversion fee, 100% reimbursement of stamp duty and registration charges, and post-operation setup, we are giving production-linked incentive of 1% for 5 years, and concessional tariff, par tariff, and exemption on electricity duty. Now, in this area, we are working very closely with the lithium-ion battery producer, photovoltaic cell manufacturers. We are also talking with certain semiconductor companies, and as Peru and Bolivia are rich in mines and minerals, these are the various, and there are a lot of natural synergies and a lot of things that we can work together in this area. And also, if you're looking at investing, these are the policies that I put before you. Yeah, you can translate.
Yes. En caso de fabricación de hardware de tecnología de información y comunicación, el gobierno de Karnataka ha anunciado un paquete especial de incentivos para crear la economía de costo más favorable para inversores. En cuanto a la configuración previa de las operaciones, subsidio de inversión capital del 25%, en terrenos, 20% en planta maquinaria, 100% de reembolso en 100% de reembolso en impuesto de timbre, 100% de reembolso en lo que es cargos de registro, y en el caso de la configuración de operaciones posteriores, hay un incentivo vinculado a la producción con 1% de la facturación anual durante 5 años, así como se logra un 0.013 por unidad de subsidio a la tarifa de energía por 5 años. Asimismo, un 100% de exención de servicios de electricidad. De igual manera, Perú y Bolivia se sabe que son ricos en minas, entre otras cosas, y se puede trabajar con múltiples de las materias primas que producen para tener un negocio fructífero entre Karnataka y estos dos países. Please continue.
Thanks. The next slide. Karnataka's story will not be complete if we don't talk about IT and software industry. Karnataka, as you all know, is called the Silicon Valley of India, and it's the world's fourth largest technology and innovation hub. And if you look at the number of people working in the software industry, we would be the largest by far. We contribute 40% of India's IT exports. 400 plus Fortune Global 500 entities are outsourcing services in Karnataka. Their global in-house centers or global capability centers are located here. We have got 47 IT and IT services, SEZ and IT investment regions that have been created. You all know the stories of the kind of companies like Infosys, which have come out of Karnataka. We have the presence of leading tech parks with world-class ICT infrastructure. So if you are looking at working together, because a lot of work is happening in high technology, in IT software, and and digitization is the new buzzword, and it is integral in today's world. So if you're looking at partnership, Karnataka is a place to come. The world leaders say Wipro, Infosys, Intel, Qualcomm, Mindtree, Tech Mahindra, Cognizant, all of these companies are located here, and we would be very happy to work with you and introduce you to these companies if you are interested. You can translate.
En el caso de software y servicios de tecnología e innovación, Bangalore, siendo el Silicon Valley de la India, ofrece un ecosistema de software bien desarrollado. Karnataka es el centro de tecnología e innovación de la India, el cuarto más grande, y si lo midiéramos en términos de cantidad de personas que trabajan en él, sería el más grande. La ciudad capital de Bangalore, Silicon Valley de la India, y el cuarto más grande centro de tecnología e innovación del mundo, como mencioné. Un 40% de las exportaciones de la India se realizan aquí, y más de 400 entidades de Fortune Global 500 que subcontratan sus servicios en Karnataka. En cuanto a los parques de tecnología industrial de tecnología e investigación en Karnataka, hay más de 47 zonas económicas especializadas en esto, y se cuenta en presencia de parques tecnológicos líderes con infraestructura de clase mundial, tales como el Parque Tecnológico Internacional, Parque Tecnológico Electronic City, Parque Tecnológico Bagmane, Parque Empresarial EcoSpace y Parque Tecnológico Global Village, etc. Si buscan trabajar juntos, la digitalización es importante para este nuevo mundo y Karnataka estaría muy feliz de trabajar con ustedes en este aspecto. Please continue.
Thank you. Next slide. To summarize Karnataka's story, I would basically talk about 6 key offerings that make Karnataka the most attractive investment destination in India. First of all, we have got investor-friendly policies with multiple financial incentives to create favorable cost economics. In fact, as I mentioned before, we have very stable policy-led ecosystem. Even if governments change, the policy continuum stays, so that is a big plus for Karnataka. Secondly, we've been working a lot on developing readily available developed industrial land and plug and play and build to suit infrastructure. So across the Karnataka, we have this infrastructure developed. We are building corridors, industrial corridors, and plug and play infrastructures. Third, and the very important part, is that we are working very hard on enhancing ease of doing business, and we have revamped processes to make it easy that we can provide services at a very low cost and in most efficient manner to the investors. Again, highly skilled and trained labor force. So this is a unique factor of Karnataka. We get people all over from India, and we get a large number of expats also, because Karnataka is a number one destination of expats, people from outside coming and living in Karnataka. And even then, we have the lowest unemployment rate in the country. We have a very rich ecosystem of universities, colleges, ITIs, and polytechnics that provide technical and skilled labor force to the industries. The fifth part is the well connected to demand center. Karnataka is located in such a way that we are connected beautifully, both outside to look at it east and the west of the world, and also to within the country we supply to the huge demand zone that is present in the south and in the central India. Lastly, we have a strong ecosystem of high-tech companies and advanced manufacturing, something that is unique in Karnataka. If you talk about any latest technology, being quantum computing, be it artificial intelligence, in electric vehicle, if you talk about various cell chemistry that is being worked out, Karnataka is a hub of research. Karnataka is a hub of manufacturing 4.0. This is the place that would lead India to the new, when we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant country, and we look forward to working closely with the industry of Peru and Bolivia. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I would be happy to take your question if there are any. Thanks a lot, Rasha.
Okay. Por último, son 6 claves que se hacen de Karnataka el destino de inversión más atractivo de la India. El número 1 siendo las políticas amigables para los inversionistas, con múltiples incentivos financieros para crear una economía de costos favorable. 2, siendo fácilmente disponibles terrenos industriales desarrollados con opción de infraestructura plug and play. En 3, procesos renovados para facilitar la facilidad para hacer negocios. En el 4, mano de obra altamente calificada y capacitada. 5, siendo bien conectado a los centros de demanda y puertas de enlace con una red logística eficiente. 6, fuerte ecosistema de empresas de alta tecnología y fabricación avanzada. Asimismo, espero que nuestra comunicación, así como los negocios futuros entre Karnataka y Perú y Bolivia, sean fructíferos, y muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Krishna. It was really, really interesting. Your all the opportunity you have shared with us, especially when you have described that you are #1 in aerospace. I didn't know that. Congratulations for that. #1 in electronic design as well. It's so important for the whole world. You are your your state is a leader in biotech products. Now it's a leader in biotech products. And I was surprised for your policies. Your policies about the biotech and the new industry policy. We can copy those policies probably in the future, because they are so important for us to have that kind of policies to push a little bit all the startups. Probably we can share in the future also those systems that you are including in your state. And it's also important to mention that you have related that the women is also included in your industry, and the kind of work you are delegating to this big group of human women. Thank you, Mrs. Krishna. Now I will introduce the chairperson, International Affairs Committee, Federation of Karnataka Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FKCCI, Mrs. Uma Reddy. She is an electrical engineer, managing director of high-tech magnetics and electronics. She has worked in the Prime Minister Council for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises and in the National Manufacturing Competitive Council. Mrs. Reddy has organized several programs and seminars for MSMEs and women entrepreneurship development in various sectors. Welcome, Mrs. Reddy.
Thank you, Senora Gabriela. Good morning and good evening to all who are here. I wish to first thank His Excellency, Mr. Subaraidu, and the Ambassador of India to Peru and Bolivia for organizing this virtual online session, and which will help and enhance the India, Peru and Bolivia partnerships, and in, of course, association with our own state government of Karnataka, the Department of Industries and Commerce, and we had the opportunity to listen to the Commissioner for Industrial Development, Ms. Gunjan Krishnan, speak about the vibrant industrial and the economic scenario in the state of Karnataka. And we are very glad to be part of this ecosystem, and a great opportunity to build relationships across the seas with countries like Peru and Bolivia, both ways. And I, as an entrepreneur and as a director of the Federation of Karnataka Chamber of Commerce and Industry, would like to actually say this, that we are so glad to be part of this ecosystem, and we are looking at these kind of business opportunities where entrepreneurs can interact and look at building and growing their enterprises across borders. Just to quickly introduce the Chamber of Commerce, the Federation of Karnataka Chamber of Commerce and Industry, FKCCI as we call it, is a state level apex body, the state of Karnataka level apex body. And we are a 107-year-old association, and we have more than 4,000 micro, small and medium enterprises, which Madam Gunjan Krishna also mentioned about the MSMEs. We classify them as micro, small and medium enterprises in the state of Karnataka.
Time for Leo to translate.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm going to translate the first part. Yeah. En primer lugar, deseo agradecer a su excelencia el señor Subarayudu, embajador de la India en Perú y Bolivia, por organizar esta sesión en línea que tiene como objetivo mejorar la asociación del Estado de Karnataka y las oportunidades e incentivos que ofrece para mejorar el comercio entre Karnataka, India, Perú y Bolivia. Asimismo, hablaremos del vibrante escenario en Karnataka y quisiera decir que estamos muy felices de ser parte de este ecosistema donde las empresas pueden crecer entre fronteras. En cuanto a la Federación de Cámaras de Comercio e Industria de Karnataka, FKCCI, es un organismo principal a nivel estatal que representa a más de 4.000 MIPYMES en el comercio de manufactura y servicios en todos los sectores. Además, la membresía de la Federación de Cámaras de Comercio e Industria de Karnataka incluye alrededor de 200 asociaciones comerciales y todas las cámaras de comercio e industria del distrito. Sorry, please continue.
Thank you. So, as I mentioned, 4,000 micro, small and medium enterprises in manufacturing, in trade and in services, and across all sectors. So we have entrepreneurs in engineering, we have entrepreneurs in the IT, in avionics, in aerospace components, in automobile components, in garments, in food processing, in handicrafts, across micro, the small enterprises, the micro enterprises, the small enterprises, and also the medium scale enterprises. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, Leo, dale ahora.
Como mencionaba previamente, los 4.000 MIPYMES tienen servicios en todos los sectores, ¿no? Como ingeniería, tecnología e investigación, electrónicos, aeroespaciales, procesamiento de comida, a lo largo de todas esas pequeñas y medianas empresas. Please continue.
As an organization, Federation of Karnataka Chamber of Commerce plays a pivotal role in policy advocacy. We heard from the Commissioner talk about the policies that for industrial development, and as a chamber, as an apex body, we represent the challenges and the growth prospects of entrepreneurs and enterprises with the government so as to build policies that will support enterprise development in the state. In addition, we have many programs which would include on skill development, which would be on trends for members, and business delegations and export and import opportunities for our enterprises to actually network and grow their businesses. So these are the objectives of FKCCI to ensure that there is a vibrant ecosystem within the state of Karnataka for entrepreneurs to grow their business. You can translate.
Yes. So, el FKCCI tiene múltiples objetivos como construir políticas para soportar para hacer como un soporte para los emprendedores de distintos negocios en Karnataka, ¿no? Bueno, asimismo, la FKCCI siempre trabaja por lo que es la promoción del comercio y la industria, tanto dentro como fuera del país, ¿no? Please continue.
Thank you. One of the flagship events of the Chambers of Commerce is the Export Excellence Awards that helps our entrepreneurs to look at export opportunities, though we do know that there are a lot of policies that support exports from the state government. As a chamber, we also promote exports with, with other countries through delegations, participation in trade fairs, and also awarding those exporters who are looking at growing their business. In addition, we also look forward, and I would say that the scenario is right now for industrial growth, because we, as the country, as you're aware, we have 8 to 9% projected growth, and in that we really are looking for opportunities for joint ventures, for collaborations, for technology adoptions. And we would like to welcome any enterprise from Peru and Bolivia to partner and with MSMEs, or the micro, small and medium enterprises in the state of Karnataka, to both for domestic manufacturing or services and also for exports.
Yes. También se cuenta lo que son las políticas que apoyan con las exportaciones mediante delegaciones, participaciones y premiación de exportadores por realizar esta importante labor. En adición, contamos con un crecimiento esperado de 8,9% y buscamos oportunidades para negocios en conjunto, colaboraciones y adopción de tecnología. Asimismo, quisiéramos darle bienvenida a las empresas de Perú y Bolivia para ser parte de los negocios con Karnataka. Please continue.
Thank you. Many steps have been taken by the state government to improve ease of doing business and also to improve access to markets and expand international trade. But the facilitating organization like FKCCI has the wherewithal for with its members who are in all the different sectors to actually network, find the right partner for business partnerships and growth. We also hope that this kind of continued interaction with other chambers of commerce, like the INCHAM, the India-Peru Chamber of Commerce, will not end with today, but a continued effort for building relationships so that there is always opportunities. When I heard the ambassador talk about the opportunities in the ceramic sector, we also see that, and in the garment sector, there is huge opportunities and huge capacity within the industries in Karnataka for them to actually look at partners in Peru and Bolivia, both in terms of export and import. You could translate it.
Yes. Bueno, esperamos que la continua interacción con la Cámara de Comercio no termine hoy, sino que continúen con lo que es una relación constante para futuras oportunidades que pueden incluir lo que es el sector cerámico, entre muchos otros. Creemos que hay grandes oportunidades y capacidades para poder tener compañeros de negocio con empresas tanto de Perú como de Bolivia y Karnataka. Please continue.
Thank you. And I would like to take this opportunity to say that the state government has planned the Global Investors Meet at the end of this year. And we would like to look forward to invite the entrepreneurs and the enterprises in both Peru and Bolivia to be part of the Invest Karnataka that is going to happen in Bengaluru. And also I would like to take this opportunity to say that whilst the government looks at the policies and the ecosystem that will support enterprise development in the state, we as FKCCI and the entrepreneurs, we look at being the doers and ensuring that the wheels keep moving, we keep adopting new technologies, and Bangalore and Karnataka is the place for innovation, for startups, for enterprise growth. So we look forward to inviting enterprises from both Peru and Bolivia, and also that the next few months can be a lead up to the Invest Karnataka, and we would like to take this opportunity to have a continuous dialogue with both INCHAM and with CAINCO, so that we can keep the conversation going. So thank you very much for this opportunity and given to me to represent FKCCI and the state of Karnataka and the entrepreneurs here. Thank you all.
Wait a second, please. Okay. Me gustaría aprovechar para mencionar que por favor sean parte del evento Invest Karnataka. Asimismo, Karnataka y Bangalore es el lugar para Perú y Bolivia en el que pueden realizar sus inversiones, asimismo tener diálogos de negocios con las empresas más importantes de allí, asimismo mantener los diálogos de negocio con las cámaras de comercio de acá de Perú, de Bolivia. Y muchas gracias a todos por darme esta oportunidad.
Would you like to translate? I've finished my talk.
I'm sorry? Sí se me está escuchando, ¿verdad, Gabriela? Disculpa. Sí.
Sí, Leo, te escuchamos.
Sí, está bien. No, básicamente eso. Gracias a todos por darme esta oportunidad.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Reddy. Thank you for the invitation. Of course, this won't be the first and the unique interaction.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We will probably have many of others webinars as this one. It is very important to know that you are promoting this kind of opportunity for joint ventures, kind of business between Peru and Bolivia. These are really huge opportunities, especially to export. We have a lot of natural resources, so you have these opportunities for both countries, Peru and Bolivia. Thank you so much. Now I will.
Gracias.
Gracias. Now I will introduce Mrs. Pratham. Mrs. Jyoti Pratham is a Chief Executive Officer at Kurlon Enterprise Limited and the Vice Chairperson of Confederation of Indian Industry, CII, Karnataka State Council. Chief Executive Officer at Kurlon Enterprise Limited and the Vice Chairperson of the State Council made her versatile experience of over 15 years having worked in industries like in electronics manufacturing, medical transcription, and consumer products in both India and the United States. Welcome, Mrs. Pratham.
Thank you very much. I think I started my screen share. Are you able to see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Buenos dias and good evening. And thank you for having me at this wonderful webinar. You'll have to please excuse me. I'm just going to try to share and see how to use this. Every time we use a new tool, you learn something about new way of presentations.
Maybe you can make it bigger, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are you able to see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So let me see. Okay. So today, I will be presenting to you a little bit about Confederation of Indian Industry and how we are in Karnataka, along with the government of Karnataka, able to provide a platform to industry companies to thrive in our state.
Hoy día vamos a hablar sobre lo que es la interacción comercial entre el Estado indio de Karnataka, Perú y Bolivia, y cómo proveen una plataforma para los negocios de importación y exportación, ¿no? Please continue.
Okay. Let's see. How do I go to the next slide? Did it change to the next slide?
Just I think maybe you have to put like the arrow to the right in the keyboard.
Okay.
No.
No.
Did it go to the next one?
Yes. No.
Okay. Just a
Not
minute. Let me try to stop
to go.
sharing. Looks like I closed the presentation.
Miguel, ¿alguien
Yes.
le puede ayudar, por favor?
You have to open it again, I think.
Yeah.
Miguel o Gonzalo pueden ayudar.
Madam Pradhan, we are gonna share your presentation, so you just
Okay.
have to say to go to the next one or to go back. 1 second.
It's better. Thank you.
Yes, this is good. Thank you so much. Yeah. So CII in Karnataka, Confederation of Indian Industry. Can you please click? I think there is animation. The Confederation of Indian Industry is an organization that is more than 125 years old. And in Karnataka, we are organized as a state council as well as district level councils, all encompassing more than 700 member companies in Karnataka. These companies are across the different sectors as well as across the type of companies, right from large companies, medium companies, small companies, as well as the MSME sector. If you want to translate.
Yes. La Confederación de Industria de la India ya tiene 125 años de antigüedad y cuenta con más de 700 compañías miembros en Karnataka en distintos sectores y tipos de compañía, tanto pequeñas, medianas y grandes, ¿no? Y trabaja como Consejo de Estado igualmente. Please continue.
We not only have a holistic approach to business, where we look at helping member companies grow their talent within their own companies, give them opportunity to learn new things, as well as give you tools to enhance of how you can attract more customers into your companies.
Buscan ayudar a las compañías dándoles la oportunidad de aprender cosas nuevas y darles las herramientas para poder mejorar. Please continue.
We've also worked very closely with government to help with policies and also give them feedback as to what ground realities we are facing on a day-to-day.
Trabajan asimismo con mucha cercanía con el gobierno y sus políticas y les dan feedback sobre lo importante que se ve en el día a día. Please continue.
We also have the Indian Women's Network, which is part of CII, and the Young Indians Network for those entrepreneurs who are less than 40 years of age.
También contamos con lo que son los networks para mujeres y adultos jóvenes que tengan menos de, I'm sorry, what's 40 years of age?
Young Indians Network, where entrepreneurs connect with each other who are less than 40 years of age.
Ya. Son entrepreneurs se conectan entre ellos con menos de 40 años de edad. Please continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Next slide, please. Karnataka, as shared by Ms. Gunjan Krishnan in her very comprehensive presentation, is definitely the leading industrial state with a strong potential to grow.
Yes, I'm sorry. Karnataka es uno de los principales estados industriales del país con un fuerte potencial de crecimiento.
So in the interest of time, the next few slides will be a little bit of repeat of Ms. Krishnan's presentation, so I will probably just go them very quickly. Next slide, please. Yeah, you can just click till all the animation has come on the slide. So as you can see here, and how Ms. Gunjan explained, it's not just establishing a business or getting all the approvals to start your business, but the state provides a thriving community to help you with talent selection, as well as to help you with logistics, with easy access to ports, whether you want to service the global markets or give you great access to the domestic market itself.
En el caso de las ventajas de Karnataka, no solo se trata de establecer un negocio, se trata de que el Estado te da una oportunidad para ayudarte con la logística de tu negocio, así sea para lo que es el mercado interno o mercado externo mediante exportaciones.
Please click for the next animations, please. Yeah. And if you see here, it is not only about being in business, but continuing to build your business and grow in Karnataka. The thriving R&D and the innovation access to ideas and innovation gives businesses at every level to really go forward in their industry like nowhere else in the country.
No solamente se trata de iniciar el negocio, sino continuar con el negocio y hacerlo crecer en Karnataka. Se te dan acceso a ideas e innovación que le permite a todos los negocios una capacidad de crecimiento muy buena y para continuar sus labores en Karnataka. Please continue.
Yeah, please do the animation. You'll have to click on the slide. Yeah, we are foremost big producers, largest producer of coffee and silk in India. From the food processing side, aerospace and defense has already been spoken about. And innovation startup culture is very, very big here in Karnataka. Apart from that, the pharma industry, the biotech industry, the automotive industries, these are all leading edge in the technologies as well as the talent that is here.
Se puede también apreciar que en el caso de la aeroespacial y defensa es el cuarto clúster tecnológico más grande del mundo. Cuentan con lo que es procesamiento de alimentos, siendo el mayor productor de café y de seda de la India. También innovación y puesta en marcha, biotecnología y farmacia, automóviles, y es el mayor exportador de software de la India. Please continue.
Next slide, please.
Thank you.
These are some of the key focus sectors already talked about. Next slide. Again, government policy is definitely to support the business growth. It is not only for just your own business, but actually creating an ecosystem so that your business can grow year on year.
Bueno, se pueden ver también las políticas gubernamentales de apoyo al crecimiento empresarial, que no son solamente para tu negocio únicamente, sino para crear un ecosistema que permita a todos los negocios crecer año a año.
Next slide, please. As you can see, India definitely has a lot of investments coming in, with Made in India being given a lot of priority. And out of the investments that are coming in, Karnataka is leading the way, with all the rest of the states far, far behind. And this graph itself shows you how much far ahead we are in terms of investments, where Ms. Gunjan Krishnan also shared that we are 45% of India's foreign investments that are coming into the country.
En el caso de Karnataka, muchas inversiones han estado ingresando y Karnataka está liderando el camino, dejando al resto de estados atrás en términos de inversiones, como se puede ver en el gráfico. Casi duplica a Maharashtra en lo que son las inversiones extranjeras, y Karnataka ha traído más del 45% de la inversión extranjera de la India en la primera mitad del año fiscal. Please continue.
Next slide, please. These are some of the leading companies in Karnataka. As you can see, they go from all the different sectors, from chemicals to innovation to consumer products to information technology, automotive, defense, and this is where the opportunity lies. I would like to take this opportunity to invite the entrepreneurs from Peru and Bolivia to come and partner with us. Let us join hands. These are our members companies, and I'm sure they would love to have conversations with you on any business opportunities that you would like to explore in India or to explore to take back to your countries.
So, como se puede ver, las empresas que se listan a continuación van de todos los tipos de sectores, desde químicos a innovación de consumo, información y tecnología, automotrices, y es aquí donde se ve la oportunidad que se hace presente. Asimismo, invito a todos los emprendedores de Perú y Bolivia a ser parte de nuestros negocios, y estoy seguro de que estas empresas estarían más que agradecidas de poder participar con ustedes en negocios futuros. Please continue.
Muchas gracias. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Namaskar.
No, thanks you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Pranham. We will share hands, of course. Many of us are interested already, I think, in going to invest in Karnataka. It is, I will mention again that you have very attractive sectorial policies. Those are probably that are going to improve our connection or interaction with Karnataka. It is important to know also that you have established already online applications and approval with the government. Nowadays, things have changed, so we are, most of us, working at home. It is very important to have those tools, because otherwise we will stop, and we don't want that. We have to run right now. Also, it is important to mention that you have a very important access for the world-class education. We cannot stop educating, even if we grew up, and especially for our kids. Your administration and ecosystem, as you mentioned, it's very friendly, so we will take that in consideration. Thank you so much, Mrs. Pranham. I will introduce now the Chief Executive Officer I'm so sorry. I will introduce now Mr. Rubén Aguilar, Macroeconomic Analysis Executive from CAINCO, Bolivia. Welcome, Mr. Aguilar.
Gracias, Gabriela. Si me permiten compartir la presentación. Y me das visto bueno si en caso ya lo estás viendo.
Aún no. Ahí está. Gracias.
A ti las gracias. Vamos a mostrarles rápidamente algunas características importantes de Bolivia. Empezaré mencionando que estamos ubicados en el corazón, digamos, de Sudamérica. Tenemos una superficie de más de 1 millón de kilómetros cuadrados. Somos el 27º país en el mundo en respecto a superficie y el sexto en América Latina. Una población de 12 millones de habitantes, ¿no? Gran parte concentrada en recintos urbanos. Y dentro de estos 12 millones de habitantes, Santa Cruz, que es el departamento donde nos encontramos actualmente, posee más de 2 millones de habitantes, ¿no? Bolivia es un país multicultural, ¿no? Existen 36 naciones indígenas y 13 diferentes regiones y ecosistemas. Eso de manera general, vamos...
Rubén, ¿quiere que te lo traduzca, Leo? Para...
Excelente.
Ya, Leo, dale, por favor.
We're going to showcase you some important characteristics of Bolivia. We are located in the heart of South America. We have an area of more than 1 million square kilometers, a population of 12 million inhabitants, a 70% rate of urbanization, and Cochabamba. Please continue. Puede continuar.
Del Producto Interno Bruto para este periodo 2012-18, Bolivia ocupaba un lugar muy importante y la última.
Disculpe la interrupción, creo que no se está escuchando.
¿Me escuchas tú?
Sí, se escucha.
Ahora sí, ahora sí.
Decía, en cuanto al desempeño de la actividad real, ¿no? Entre 2012 y 2018 tuvimos un desempeño interesante en comparación de la región. Y viendo un dato último para 2021, saliendo de la pandemia, nuestra recuperación, si bien ha sido moderada, pero nos ubicamos como que en el promedio de los países de la región.
Bolivia's gross domestic product for the period of 2012 and 18 occupied a very important place. Regarding the performance of the real activity within these years, there was a moderate recovery after the years because of the pandemic, now showcasing that we are at the same average rate as other countries.
Perfecto. Respecto a los departamentos más relevantes, tenemos a Santa Cruz con un aporte muy importante a la producción como tal, ¿no? E incluso el año de la pandemia, el departamento que menos impacto tuvo ha sido Santa Cruz, con un retroceso de menos 4.3 en comparación de los dos departamentos relevantes.
Okay, so in case of the most relevant departments, we can see Santa Cruz, La Paz, and Cochabamba, where La Paz and Cochabamba has been shown like a good produce, let's say that way. But in the case of Santa Cruz, it has shown like a decrease in its production rate for this year.
Entonces, gran parte de la producción del sector agroindustrial está concentrada en Santa Cruz. Y es más, si vemos los desembolsos bancarios, Santa Cruz ocupa el 60% del total de desembolsos. Y en 2021, Santa Cruz demandó desembolsos del sistema financiero casi 10 veces más que La Paz y 3-4 veces más que Cochabamba.
So much of the production is concentrated in Santa Cruz. If we see the bank disbursements, it occupies 60% of bank disbursements, and as well as in terms of net loans flow, it has almost, 4 times that of, disculpe, si era Cochabamba, me parece.
Correcto.
4 veces más que Cochabamba, right?
Y 10 respecto a La Paz.
And 10 more times respect to La Paz. Thanks.
Okay. La evolución del producto per cápita ha sido importante a lo largo de los últimos años, y si vemos el producto per cápita corregido por PPP, estaríamos hablando más o menos de un PIB per cápita cercano a los $9,000.
So the evolution of the product per capita has been important over the last few years, and if we're talking about the last few, now we are targeting, how much was ¿cuál era el valor, disculpa, para repetirlo?
Cercano de $9,000.
Yeah, close to $9 million for these years.
También hemos tenido un importante avance en lo que es la reducción de la pobreza. Si vemos una mirada general, ¿no? Estaríamos hablando que para el 2020 cerca de un 39% de las personas están en el umbral de pobreza, ¿no? Y en pobreza extrema en 13%, cuando estos números a inicios de siglo realmente se encontraban por encima de 60 y cerca a 40%.
So we have also made significant progress in reducing poverty rates. In 2020, we can see 39% of people are in the poverty line and 13% in extreme poverty lines, when these numbers at the start of the century were much higher at 60%.
¿Cómo estará Santa Cruz de acá, Bolivia de acá a los siguientes años, al 2030, ¿no? Entonces, acá tenemos personas que estarían ganando por encima de $15,000 por año. En 2016, en Santa Cruz teníamos a 36,000 personas, pero la previsión para 2030, ¿no? Acá están las fuentes, es de que tengamos aquí más de 500,000 de personas ganando esta cantidad de recursos, y este número es relevante cuando comparamos con Cochabamba, La Paz e incluso con algunas regiones de Sudamérica.
So, how will Santa Cruz be in the following years? People earning more than $15,000 in 2016 are that of 36.2 thousand people, while in 2030 we're expecting it to become more than 500,000 people earning this amount, which is considerably higher than those states of Bolivia and most of the states of other countries in South America.
¿Y cómo estaríamos el 2030, por ejemplo, en Santa Cruz? Nos pareceríamos un poquito a lo que era Bogotá hace 2016 y muy cercanos a lo que era Brasilia en el año 2016.
So, how will we be in 2030, for example, in Santa Cruz? We would look like Bogotá in 2006 and like Brasilia in 2016.
Esto lo voy a pasar un poco más rápido. Como estábamos en el año 1561, Santa Cruz era algo pequeño. En el año 1825 crece. En el año 1906 hay una mayor expansión. El año 43 más grande. El año 60 mucho más. El 68 seguimos creciendo, ¿no? El 78 se va expandiendo de esta forma. El dato del 95 es 2017, y las perspectivas, ahí quisiera que me ayudes en la traducción, para 2030 es de que las áreas urbanas irán expandiendo mucho más.
So in 1561, Santa Cruz was small. In 1825, it grows, as well as all recent years. 1906, there's also a bigger expansion. In 1943, up until 2000s, there's a several increase also. And in perspective for 2030, there will be a major development for urban areas and for future developments of urban areas.
Excelente, ¿no? Y concentramos en Bolivia cerca de 3 millones de personas que están comprendidas como jóvenes con datos al 2022, una población relevante.
So, considering more in Bolivia, there's a young population of 2.8 million people by 16 and 28 years old for 2022.
Ok. Tenemos en lo que corresponde a integración con Sudamérica, vínculos muy importantes con países vinculados a Mercosur, ¿no? Y también con países que forman parte de la comunidad andina.
We have what corresponds to integrations with South America, also very important links with Mercosur and also to the Andean community.
En ese sentido, también voy a ir pasando un poquito más rápido, movernos desde Santa Cruz hacia otras regiones de Sudamérica, ¿no? Podrías hacerlo de forma más rápida, ¿no? Y llegar a mayores recintos.
So, moving from Santa Cruz to other regions of South America could be done more quickly because of its location, and making you even capable of reaching places most far away than other cities.
Asimismo, tenemos una importante integración hacia el Atlántico y hacia el Pacífico, de forma terrestre.
Likewise, we have an important integration towards the Atlantic and the Pacific in a, how do you say it, terrestrial way, like through land.
Asimismo, tenemos una importante salida al Océano Atlántico mediante el uso del río Paraguay-Paraná.
We also have an important outlet to the Atlantic Ocean through the use of the river that crosses Paraguay and Panama.
Tenemos un crecimiento muy importante con la Nueva Santa Cruz, conocido incluso como la capital de los condominios.
We also have an important growth with the new Santa Cruz, which is also known as la capital de los condominios.
Asimismo, en Santa Cruz se lleva adelante la feria más relevante del país, que aglomera decenas de productores, ¿no? Y se mueven millones de dólares en negocios y negocios potenciales.
In Santa Cruz, the most important fair in the country is held, which brings together dozens of producers and millions of dollars in business are moved through this fair.
Respecto a la parte impositiva, ¿no? En lo que corresponde a una proxy de ingreso a las personas, que si bien en Bolivia no hay una comparación de los otros países, nuestra tasa es relativamente baja.
Regarding taxes, which corresponds to a personal income, our rate is relatively lower compared to other countries.
Asimismo, en lo que corresponde a impuestos corporativos, tenemos una presión tributaria razonable.
What corresponds to corporate taxes, there is a pressure, like reasonable pressure of taxes compared to other countries.
Lo mismo vemos en lo que corresponde el impuesto a las ventas, digamos, estamos situados como un país con presiones impositivas razonables.
The same is observed in the sales tax, placing us as a country with impositive pressure as average to all other countries also in South America.
Y los aportes a la seguridad social, ¿no? De largo plazo también son muy razonables en comparación a otros países.
Long-term social security contributions are also very reasonable compared to other countries.
Entre las oportunidades de inversión de manera resumida, actualmente nuestras exportaciones están concentradas en lo que corresponde a hidrocarburos, a la parte del oro y sobre todo a las exportaciones de soya en grano y aceite crudo de soya.
So among the investment, among the investment opportunities, currently exports are concentrated in hydrocarbons, gold, and especially exports of soybean grain and crude soybean oil.
Y nuestras importaciones principalmente en productos intermedios, ¿no? Y bienes de capital.
And our imports mainly are focused in intermediate products and capital goods.
Existen importantes oportunidades de negocios cuando vemos alguna publicación de institutos internacionales importantes. Estos podrían concentrarse en lo que corresponde al sector farmacéutico, a la producción de alimentos, ¿no? A la química orgánica y sin duda a la parte electrónica.
There are important business opportunities when we see some publication of important institutes focusing on the pharmaceutical sector, machinery, electronics, advanced pharmaceutical actually, food and organic chemicals.
Sin duda, la parte de la minería también es relevante, ¿no? En lo que corresponde a Santa Cruz como tal, concentramos el 40% de la producción agrícola y tenemos 9 ecorregiones importantes en el departamento.
In Santa Cruz concentrates 40% of agricultural production, and also it has many 9 ecoregions.
Y tenemos actualmente un uso, ¿no? En el área agrícola de 2,6 millones, ¿no? Cuando tenemos un potencial importante disponible según la normativa actual.
We currently have a use in the agricultural area of 2.6 million, with significant potential available for the agricultural area.
Simplemente, de manera muy rápida, es un país que ofrece incluso atractivos turísticos en los cuales puede explotarse los flujos de inversión, realmente poder concentrarse incluso en el desarrollo de estas actividades.
So, Bolivia is a country that offers tourist attractions from which investment flows can be exploited, and even concentrated on the development of these activities.
Perfecto, es lo que queríamos mostrarles en la presentación. Y atentos a ver si es que tienen alguna consulta.
That's all we wanted. That's all we wanted to showcase you for this presentation, and we're attending to any questions you have.
Muchas gracias, Mr. Aguilar. Thank you so much. Actually, I don't know if we are going to wait for any questions, Rohit, or we are proceeding.
We are past the time, please.
Okay, I see. We were expecting to finish before 11, but we have a lot of things to share. Very, very important. Of course, Mr. Aguilar has shared a lot of opportunities in Bolivia as well. We have similar cultures with Bolivia. Congratulations, Mr. Aguilar. Well, actually, for the closing and remarks, Mr. Rohit Rao, the president of the INCHAM, the Indian Peru Chambers of Commerce, will close the event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gabriela. Dear Ambassador Mr. Subaraidu, thank you very much for giving the opportunity to INCHAM to organize another successful event from one of the important states of India. Ms. Krishna, we are really happy to see how Karnataka is really pushing a lot for all the investments in future. And in our countries, definitely in Peru and Bolivia, a lot of imports are already coming from Karnataka. And we're happy to see that is growing day by day. Mrs. Uma, thank you very much for your short and perfect information. We'd love to have a future coordination with INCHAM and your organization to see how we can maybe in a month or so have an international specific B2B business meeting with the people who can, and let's pin it down to business. I think that's what all this all about. So we'll organize it very soon, and thank you very much for all your efforts and chances to put it in. And Mrs. Jyoti,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Thank you very much for your quick and perfect this thing. We already are part of CCI, and we are very happy to always organize events with you people. And I'm sure it's quite late in India, dinner time, our time here in Peru to rush around and pay bills. So thank you very much, everybody. Muchas gracias todos por participar en este evento y hasta la futura. Vamos a ver qué se puede hacer con Karnataka, con Perú y Bolivia. Gracias, Rubén, por tu excelente presentación. Y me sorprende que Bolivia cada día está creciendo y está muy bonito. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Have a good evening and a good day in Peru. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.